Now look how amazing this looks. I can't wait to try it. Can you wait to try this?
My mouth is watery right now. I'm ready to go.
So today in the kitchen studio, I got my friend Steve Longa, former NFL linebacker. He came through and we're gonna do a little segment called Chef Ange, make me something, but you gotta help. So what do you want Chef Ange to make you, but you gotta help?
I'm craving some meat, some pasta. So I'm thinking like Osso Buco with some pappardelle.
I think we can do that. So we're gonna make a meat sauce with some pappardelle pasta, and we're gonna make the pasta from scratch because if you came all this way, we're gonna make sure that we treat you a real nice for the full home cook experience.
I love it.
For the full ingredient list, check the description box below. But enough talking, let's get cooking. First thing we gotta do is we gotta start prepping our vegetables. Cutting an onion is 90% of cooking. I wanna do half and then I'll show you the other half, okay? But I'm gonna get it started for you. So we're gonna take off one end of the onion, we'll take off the other end. Always when you're cooking, always clean up as you go because you get this stuff inside the food that's not tasting good. So now we're gonna cut the onion in half and I'm gonna peel off the outer layer. You do that one. What would you say your level of cooking is?
Me? Listen, dog. Don't get me started with this. I'm good enough to teach somebody. That is not good enough.
Can you cook for yourself? You make most of your own food?
Well, no. Mother makes my food.
Always get your hand out of the way. I'm gonna cut almost all the way through, so you can still see how the onion's here. And now from here, I'm gonna pinch the onion together, and in between my fingers, I'm gonna cut little slices all the way down. I'm gonna cut this way, and the onion will chop into like a nice dice. When you get down to the end, you turn it sideways, and then just rock and chop all the way through. What do you got? Boom, hand up. All the way through, watch out, don't get your hand. And then push down, remember that knife sharp, don't touch it to your skin. Oh man.
Angelo.
There you go, good. That's it.
That knife, woo!
Oh, you do it better than I do.
That's not true. Woo!
Not bad. Also, one thing we're gonna do is after we cut everything, we're gonna put it inside containers. This concept is called mise en place, meaning like get everything ready. Let's show how to cut off a celery. So I'll cut off one end and I'll cut off the other. That'll go inside of our scrap bowl. From here, I'm gonna cut it lengthwise. And now from here, I'll just chop all the way through where the knife never leaves the cutting board. Let me see that. Cut that end off, cut the other end off. Split it down the middle. Make sure your fingers aren't in the way. Good. Now turn it sideways. And now work on that rocker chopper motion.
Woo.
Easy. We'll put this all right back in the same container. Yep. So we'll go like this. I'm going to split the carrot this way. And then I'm going to split it again and again. So now I got these 4 quarters. Now I can take those 4 quarters and do the same thing. Get your fingertips out of the way. All the way down till the knife touches into the cutting board. Yee, good job. Last step, we got to get the garlic going. We're going to trim off just the little root end, and then we're going to crush it. I'll do this, and then let me crush a few, and then you'll take care of the rest. Garlic clove goes on here, knife goes here, and then I just pressure down. Just light pressure will crush the garlic clove. When you crush the garlic clove, it helps release all the flavors of the garlic. Yeah, and instead of putting your hand this way, put your hand perpendicular to the knife. Yep, and now fingertips go this way. There you go. Nice.
That was
there you go.
Better leverage.
So mincing's easy, because all you got to do is just run your knife over the pile. Knife here, hand here. Don't bring your fingertips down; they get caught in. So always fingertips up. And now from here, you just work across everything and just keep going back and forth. If the pile spreads out too much, clean your knife off. Push it back into a pile, and then just keep working across the top. Up, 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 down, 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 up. Everybody knows garlic is my favorite thing to cook with. That's it, that's it. There you go. The garlic we're gonna keep separate.
No, all them flavors, fire. I need the recipe of this. I should be writing this down, man.
You'll be able to find the recipe in the description box below. Here's we got some beef shank. These don't need a lot of prep. We just got to put some olive oil and some salt and pepper on them, and then we're gonna sear them, and then everything's gonna come together. Good. Maybe a little bit more. A little bit more.
Generous.
Yeah. And now start rubbing the olive oil all over the top, and then flip it over and get the olive oil on the bottom as well.
Ooh.
Yeah, give it a flip. Don't be afraid of the meat.
Nah, man, we never afraid of the meat, man. This thing is delicious.
And what I like about this dish making it is you get the marrow in there. So when we take that sauce, the marrow is going to go inside the sauce and make it very, very delicious, yummy sauce.
Yes, sir.
So now salt. So when you're pinching salt, always when you're seasoning, season from very high so that the salt sprinkles equally. And these are pretty thick pieces of meat, so I want to make sure that I salt them well. Right. You're more likely to under salt them than you are over salt them. Before we flip it too, and we're going to go pepper. Pepper's easy. Just hold it up nice and high.
Hold it on that side when you got the damn machine.
And I got my electronic pepper grinder, which makes it a whole lot easier. Good.
Or like this, right?
That's for the wanksters. So now that our beef shanks are seasoned, let's get out our pan and we'll start to cook these. So now from here, we're gonna put a little oil inside the pan. If the oil smokes, that means it's hot enough. And now, boom, our shanks are gonna go in there and we're gonna get a nice brown color. Once you put the meat in the pan, I give it a little bit of a push down just to make sure that we're getting nice contact. And then after that, we don't touch it. We'll go like 2-3 minutes each side. Okay. So like we can take a peek and we can look on the other side. And once we see this nice brown color, that's what we're looking for, is that see how it looks seared and you're getting like a nice brown color on there. That's the flavor that we're looking for. Now I'm gonna show you a little shortcut on how we can save time, because normally we would throw these in the oven for 2, 3, 4 hours to get tender.
4 hours?
Yeah, sometimes we would do it at a low temperature, but I'm gonna show you a little shortcut that we can use technology to cut the time on. So when you go to a restaurant,
they're not doing it in the oven.
Well, they're doing it beforehand. All this stuff is prepared before you even got there. Before you even sat down at the restaurant, they've already made everything. They're just assembling it all together.
And then put it in the oven to warm it up or something like that.
All they got to do is just make it on the pan and sauce everything up. You put that in there. You can already see how the bone marrow started to retract a little bit.
Sure. Looks great.
Beautiful. And now from here, so oil's going to go inside the pan. Give that a dump right in. There we go.
Can you smell that?
So start to do this. You want it all to be like nice and even. So once you think you've scraped up the bottom of the pan, start to spread them all out so they're all nice and even and towards the middle-ish of the pan. If at any point we think it's getting dry or we think things are burning, we can always add a little oil or turn the temperature down. But actually it looks like our temperature looks good in here and it looks like we got enough oil. And everything starts to look wet, then you know that it's starting to sweat out. So now from here we're going to take the garlic and we're going to put that in the pan. And how long we're going to cook the garlic for is until you start to smell the garlic. At this point, we're going to put in a little tomato paste, a couple tablespoons of the tomato paste. We'll put like 3 tablespoons of this tomato paste in. At this point, this is also when we would season with a little salt and pepper. When salt and pepper, you always want to do a little bit at a time, and all your components get seasoned, because this needs to be seasoned and that needs to be seasoned. Otherwise, if you mix bland food with seasoned food, you get bland food. Sprinkle in some salt in there, maybe like 2 pinches. That looks pretty good. That looks good. And now we'll go with a little pepper. All right, now give that a mix. So here we got some drinkable red wine. It's not as good as the stuff that we're drinking right here, but always use drinkable red wine. Never use cooking wine. I would never buy that stuff. So now we're gonna take this and we'll start to pour this in there and start to develop our sauce that we're gonna braise it in. So we're putting a couple cups in there. We're gonna add a little beef stock.
It's a rule of thumb, huh?
Generally. I don't think you... With cooking, it's like you got to work with what you got. And as this is coming up, it's going to start to reduce, so some of the alcohol is going to start to evaporate. We're going to add some vinegar. So the vinegar that I'm choosing to put in this recipe, this is a sherry vinegar. With the vinegar, we don't need much, we just need a little bit. By adding the seasoning that we did, plus all this stuff, it's just going to really enhance the flavors of everything that we got going on.
Man, I tell people that don't like flavor, bro, can you believe that people like food plain? Like,
anytime people tell me that they don't like food like that, they don't like seasoned food, I just think they don't know how to cook, or they were fed, or they were...
Or their parents didn't know how to cook.
They didn't know how to cook either.
Nobody in their family know how to cook. They never had good food. We like good food.
That's right. That's 100%.
Not no plain.
The other way. Go the other way. Away from you. There you go. Good. And now the can will spin towards you. So we're using a can of some crushed tomatoes. We're going to be blending this all up, so crushed would be good. So we're going to give this a dump right inside there. give that a nice mix all together.
You gotta be jammed to it. And sometimes, man, you put a little motion to it. What's the music? Can we put some music on, like some soft in the background, you know?
If we put any music, they can't hear us
Jesus Christmas.
with the microphones. So here we got some sage, we got some rosemary, we got some thyme. We're gonna tie it all together so it's easier to take out. Because everything else is gonna make the sauce. You wanna take out these little, we wanna take these out because we don't want any twigs in there. So when you're tying up your herb bundle, very simple. You just gotta make a little knot. And then once you got the little hole, herbs go around, this goes through, and now you just wrap it up. Wrap it up, B.
Just like that.
That's it. Good. Yep, we throw that right inside there. Now we're gonna put a little sprinkle of some dried oregano from my mom's garden. Also, if the sauce starts to bubble at any point, once you got tomato in there, you gotta turn down the heat a little bit.
Why?
Because you don't want tomato sauce to splatter. And when it's splattering, it's just going to make a big mess. And it's generally telling you that the heat's a little too high.
Okay.
It's like the sauce is singing to you. It's telling you too much, too much. So the last thing we're going to put in here is going to be some of this beef bouillon paste. So this is just concentrated beef flavor. So we're just going to take a little spoonful of this. And now do me a favor and mix that all in there so that's all well nice and incorporated. And now that our sauce is complete, let's bust out some technology to see if we can take this and we can cut some time while we make our pasta.
Because we hungry, you know, we gotta eat.
We're gonna take this thyme pressure cooker and we're gonna cut out the thyme. Because normally I would throw this either on the stove or in the oven all together with the beef shanks and the sauce. It would take like 3-4 hours to cook. Okay. We're hungry, we gotta eat a little faster. We're gonna cut this down to about 90 minutes by using a pressure cooker. There we go, there we go. Oh, Chef Steve, nice job. Remember, no flavors left behind.
None. Take them all. Give me a piece of bread, too.
So now let's put those beef shanks right inside there. Let's see if we got enough liquid we need to add in. You just lay it in there right nice and flat. More flavor, more flavor. We can't leave any of that juice.
That juice. Oh.
That's it.
Ooh. Ah.
Never leave any of that juice left behind. That's nice flavor.
There you go.
Manual pressure. We're going to put the time up to about 90 minutes. That'll give us plenty of time for this beef to get nice and tender, and that'll give us plenty of time to make our pasta. You ever made pasta before?
Never, never.
Me neither, so we're going to make it together for the first time.
That's not good.
This is going to heat up and this is going to go for about 90 minutes. We're going to set this aside and now let's clean up and let's start making some pasta. All right. Full disclosure, I don't make a lot of fresh pasta. I've seen my mom do it a couple times. I have pretty much the gist of it, but let's see what we can do.
Excuses, excuses.
Well, we're going to find out one way or the other. The flour that we're going to use is we're going to use a 00 flour, which is a little bit finer of a flour. You can use an all-purpose flour too, but we're going to use the 00. I think this makes better dough, better pasta. Let's weigh out 600 grams of the flour. Keep going. If a couple extra go out, it's okay. We're going to make a big mess in a second anyway.
Well, I'm making a mess. I don't care about
it's okay. It's like we can have a little extra in there. That's all right.
There you go.
Okay, so we got about 600 grams of flour
right
here.
There.
We're going to put the flour right on our nice clean work surface.
We got our white. Don't call the FBI on us, huh?
You take the Scarface picture?
Yeah, man.
But now we're going to make this little well right in the middle. Let's start cracking these eggs right inside there. When you crack the egg, crack flatly until you get a crack in the egg, and then release the egg in the inside. Try not to push the shell inside.
Try not to push. Do you know how to do the one hand box?
Sure, let me see.
Yeah, show me that one.
One hand?
Yeah.
So same concept. Crack and then split.
That's what I like. You want to teach me something? Teach me the nice stuff, man.
First again. That didn't work out too well. There we go. Any shells in there?
No shells.
All right. Use your top 3 fingers to pull the top open of the shell.
Jesus Christmas. Jesus.
So now let me teach you. Well, instead of use the eggshell to get it out. So you just take the eggshell.
Coaching points right here.
It's the perfect thing to remove the shell.
All right, you go for that big one.
The big one we're gonna just take out now. No finger. Any more in there? No, we're okay.
Y'all ever heard? Practice makes perfect. Well, let me introduce you to a new one. Perfect practice makes perfect. All right.
But now we're going to start just incorporating it a little bit at a time and trying to make it nice and mushy. Traditionally, pasta is made with just eggs and flour. We're going to add a little bit of salt once we get this little mixed a little bit more.
You don't like to eat pasta?
Not really, no, not too much.
Well, because you like to keep the guns, huh?
That's right.
So when I was playing, I had to eat hella carbs. Why? But you over here, you don't want to eat pasta.
I'm not an NFL football player going to practice for hours a day, and also too mean having to keep up my body size, you know?
So now that I'm not playing, you're telling me that I should stay away from the carbs?
Well, generally the more active people are, the more carbohydrates they need, and the less active they are, you know? I just live a normal life. I do my exercise, I do my running, that's when I eat my carbs, but you know, not too much pasta. Once the pasta has gotten a little sticky, we don't see any more runny eggs, we're just gonna take it and we're gonna start mushing it all together.
Massage, baby.
And we gotta just incorporate it all together until all the flour is gone and it just turns into something like dough. And then we gotta keep working the dough until the dough becomes solid and springy and nice and smooth. If it starts to get a little dry, we're gonna sprinkle in just a little bit of water. So if we're gonna put 1 pinch for every egg we put, so we'll put 6 pinches of salt, 3, 4, 5. Keep incorporating that, keep working that. This dough's looking good so far.
Now I'm lost. Like, what do I do? Like, I got this. Like,
this actually looks pretty good. It's got some good spring to it. I would just do this. Get your hands a little wet with some water, and then just do the same thing. That little bit of water that's going to be just on your hands is going to be enough.
Okay.
Good. Just incorporate the wet water that's in your hands on top of that.
Yeah, this feels better.
So how I know Steve is that I was part of a coaching team that helped him get ready for the NFL Combine after he was done playing in college, and made his way to the NFL. So I was helping him with exercise and nutrition and food. It all kind of worked out because he did get there.
Got there, have fun. Now I'm here having fun with Angela again.
Okay. There we go. Okay, there we go. Once you are able to stretch it, and it's got some spring to it. So if we push this in the middle and it'll pop back on us, that looked like that popped back popped back pretty good. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna wrap this up with some saran wrap, and we're gonna keep it wrapped up for about 30 minutes before we touch it.
Why does gluten-free food taste like
Flour has been around for thousands of years, and particularly like wheat flour. As of recently, it's gotten a little bit of a bad rap, and they replace, you know, traditional wheat flour with a lot of different other stuff, and a lot of people, it just doesn't taste as good. We're gonna leave this wrapped up. We're gonna keep this at room temperature for about 30 minutes, and then we'll make our pasta. All right, so our dough's been resting for about 30 minutes, Steve. Now let's cut this into pieces. You got that nice spring to it. And we can let this rest for a little longer too, but 30 minutes is definitely the minimum that we're gonna do on this dough. Let's take some of this flour and let's make a big mess. Yeah. A little bit more.
Yeah, I thought I was a little cheap on that one.
Hey, flour the dough a little bit too. Now let's cut this into 4 pieces. This dough actually looks pretty good. And now we're gonna start working each one of these 4 pieces and making our pasta. Let's set these aside. We're not doing this with a pasta machine, or we don't have a large pin. We're just using our regular standard rolling pin. And so now let's just start flattening out this dough.
And you can find it in your kitchen.
That's right. And if you don't have this, you use the side of that wine bottle. Okay, so first we're gonna do is we're gonna try to get this nice and flat. Keep flipping it and keep stretching it. You go. There we go. Once it gets nice and thin, you got to be a little bit more finesse, a little bit more finesse with it. That's right. So let's cut this off. I'm gonna cut this here. Cut this here. Cut this here. Now we're gonna take this and we're gonna fold it here. Let's go like thumbs width. So.
That's definitely my thumb. That's not your thumb.
Keep going.
That's definitely my thumb.
Nice. These actually look really nice. Beautiful. So now we're gonna unfold our pasta.
What's this?
This is all-purpose flour. Normally we would use semolina flour because it's a little bit coarser, but we're gonna use all-purpose flour, which is a little bit coarser than the flour that we used for this. And we're just gonna give this a little sprinkle and start to work the pasta so it doesn't stick together. That's right. So we're just gonna give this a nice toss. And now here's our first little batch of pasta. This is gonna be 1 portion of pasta. Now let's do that. Let's go. We got to do this 2 more times.
I got you.
By the time
now we're good at this now, so now watch how fast we go with it. All right. That's it. I'm a fast runner, baby.
Very good. Look at the previous ones, how much we did. Look at the thickness. Good job, man. I can't wait to see the comment section of this video.
Go ahead and talk about this. I dare you.
Trust me, they will. So let's take a look at this fresh pasta that we got. So they actually look pretty uniform. Our beef Osso Buco is almost done. As soon as that's done, we're gonna take out the beef. We're gonna shred it. We're gonna make a nice sauce. Let's clean up while we're waiting for that to happen. So this has been cooking for about an hour and a half. We're all done. You can smell it, it's already coming through. This thing's pretty sealed. We gotta let it cool down for a little bit before we let the pressure out. Back up.
I think farting.
No good, right?
I wish y'all could smell this. Hold on.
All right, so all the pressure's released out of here.
Oh.
Nice and tender.
It looks ridiculously good. Smells even better than before.
Too hot? It's very hot. Nice and smooth with it. See how I tying up that herb bundle? Just take that right out.
Easy peasy.
Make it nice and easy instead of fishing out all those individual stems. You're like my wife.
Yes.
My wife always coming in the kitchen, always taking little pieces and little snacks.
I understand why my mom never eats when she serves dinner.
Because she's already eaten.
She'd already had her meal. You know, doing this. Imagine I do this the whole entire time I'm cooking.
This is all good. We're gonna let that cool down before we shred it. Now let's get this into a pot. Let's start making our sauce. I'm gonna let it simmer for a little bit. I may want to skim off a little of the fat, but let this come up to temperature. This is what you've been asking for the whole time. Yeah, so what we're gonna do with the sauce is we're gonna blend the sauce down. So we're gonna take all those vegetables and incorporate it and make one nice smooth sauce out of everything before we start incorporating the meat back in. So I'm gonna do as much as I can right now, keeping it right inside there.
Whoever came up with this, they did well.
These gloves gonna fit on your hands? No way. Medium? You think you're gonna get yourself into a medium?
Let's give it a shot. Jesus Christmas.
Is it gonna fit or no?
Yeah, man, we make it sweet, we make it work. We get up in there. Boy, I can only imagine 2 more things that was easy to get into.
The medium gloves.
Only had 2 more things that was harder to get in than this damn glove.
There you go. Let's put a little butter inside here, and let's put all the meat back inside this pot. Good job. And now we'll take a couple tablespoons of this butter and we'll mix it into this sauce. And now to finish this sauce, we're gonna hand tear in some basil. So just tear the leaves into little pieces. Make sure that I don't like to put the end stems in.
Right.
If you watch any of my videos, I always take the stems off everything. I think it's just a very unrefined thing to do. But just take the basil and just let's tear off a couple of leaves and just throw it right inside there. And now again, just a little bit of heat inside here is gonna wilt this basil, and the flavors will go right inside. I would add just a tiny little pinch of salt just to really bring those flavors out.
Come on, let's get more flavor. You know, I'm Cameroonian, Trevor Noah. In one of his TikTok shows, he says, the white man sell all across the world for spice.
That's right, flavor.
Flavor, man.
Salt was money before. That's why it's called a salary, because people used to get paid in salt because that's how valuable it was.
Oh, we learn something every day.
Let's call this sauce finished. Let's give it a taste after we had put our salt in there. So let's get this pasta inside our boiling water. And fresh pasta cooks very fast, so if this was dry, it would probably take like 3-4 minutes. Oh, I forgot to salt the water, but let's see. We throw it in right. We throw it in right now. And you got to put a lot of salt in there because it's gotta taste like salt, like the ocean.
Word.
This sauce looks good.
How you call this thing again? I know I told you to cook it, but.
Oh, so like a braised Osso Buco sauce?
Pappardelle Osso Buco.
Osso Buco.
Osso Buco.
So now we're gonna take the pasta with our spider, we're gonna put it right inside the sauce, and we're gonna drag in some of the pasta water because that's what helps pull all the pasta. And now from here, we gotta coat the pasta in the sauce.
Ooh, ooh.
You can see I don't make pasta too much. Ooh. Okay, now we're just gonna let this cook for just a minute, and then we're gonna plate this, and then we'll get our second batch going.
Next one.
There's one. And there's 2.
Let me do this. There you go.
Okay. I'm gonna put it inside there. There you go. There you go. Oh, you're doing it better than me. Good job.
Stop talking, bro. on, let me just stop before I spill it off.
That was pretty good. That's pretty good. Remember, if you don't feel comfortable doing that, you can always just mix it around like this. That's fine too. Last thing we got to do is we got to sprinkle on just a little parsley right on the top. And now that looks like a nice restaurant quality dish.
Yes.
$49.95 special.
Yeah, we got a special, yeah.
Now look how amazing this looks. I can't wait to try it. Can you wait to try this?
My mouth is watery right now. I'm ready to go.
I don't know about you, Steve, but I'm putting some cheese on top of this pasta. You got some Parmigiano Reggiano. Cheese, please? Yes?
Yes. I'm lactose intolerant, but you gotta have the cheese.
Oh, this doesn't have any lactose in it. This is...
Doesn't?
Not really.
All right.
Come on, brother. Enjoy.
We went for this.
I haven't made a lot of pasta, but this is absolutely fantastic.
I don't even want to talk. I'm sorry. Let me just enjoy my food, please.
But they want to hear how you think it tastes.
I don't care. Leave me alone. Don't you see this? It's beautiful. It's amazing. It tastes great. What else do you need to know? What else do they need to know?
That the pasta's silky smooth. And the sauce is wonderful and savory.
Taste it all. You got the beef in there, all over the place with every bite. The pasta is just perfect texture. Everything just works beautiful together.
This is just a really, really nice dish that I will 100% be making again. Will you be making this again?
Definitely making this for the fam.
Steve and I are gonna finish our lunch. While we're doing that, check out my spaghetti squash bolognese. That's a really nice recipe, especially if you're looking for a pasta recipe that's not as detailed as this, and maybe you're looking for gluten-free. I'll see you there. Thanks.